What is going on, Ravens flock? And welcome back here again to another episode of the Ravens Way podcast, episode number 23, rolling along here through the season. Boss, how we doing on this fine Thursday evening?
I'm looking forward to week 4. I want to put week 3 behind us. The Ravens had it right there in their grasp and let it slip through their fingertips like Jeremiah Moon trying to recover a fumble. Just not what we wanted there.
Yeah, unfortunate loss. Obviously, we'll get into it through the film, but there's a lot of errors that are fixable, but at the same time, as a team that's coached by a 20-year head coach at this point, almost a 2-decade head coach, you don't want to see, you wouldn't like to see, and um, I'm not a fan of it. I really think that's something that shouldn't be happening with a coach like that. You know, we talk about the Flowers 2-minute warning, punt return. He could have ran the clock out, and Harbaugh could have called a timeout and told him that. There's other things. The 61-yard field goal and then never kicking another 60-yarder in the end there at overtime. A few things here and there that coaching staff could have cleaned up, and maybe some of the players, Isaiah likely dropped. But overall, it was just a disgusting loss. I'm with you. I want to put it behind us, but
Yeah, I mean, and the Flowers 2 missed calls there, end of the regulation and overtime. I mean, it was kind of a team loss. I'm not going to beat Harbaugh up too much over that. Could he have done it better? Could he have, pulled one of the tricks he did, like in the 2012 Super Bowl? But overall, the biggest problem in that game was Lamar just wasn't comfortable. The offensive line that played so well against the Bengals were letting up too much pressure. The backups did not necessarily fill in as well as they did previously. Fumbles, you got a fumble from Lamar, you got a fumble from Drake, you got a Sam Mustipher, Aaron Snap. And really, it's just a low average depth of target is the problem, I think, on offense. You need blitz beaters, but they don't have to be short passes. Get back, 3-step drop, hit that back heel, and toss one up and let somebody go make a play. That's a very effective blitz beater. On the other hand, positive signs of defense. Kyle Hamilton had a huge game. I am hoping that he's found a permanent home in the nickel role. I think he's a game changer there, a difference maker. Brandon Stevens really played well, I thought. 2 huge pass defenses, making huge tackles near the line of scrimmage in the open field. He looks like a long-term potential solution at corner. You got Clowney really playing well, giving the Ravens excellent return on their investment so far. And, a little bit of news coming this week before we get to the film review. Marcus Williams back practicing in full today on Thursday. I certainly wasn't expecting him back this early. They need his ball hawking. That's what takes a good defense and makes it great, is takeaways. And also going out and signing Kyle Van Noy, who I think is going to be a big piece of this defense in the next few weeks with Ojabo and Owe both down with, ankles. Van Noy, I think he's going to be the stabilizing force, can drop into coverage. And really what they need him to do is set the edge, because you can't be getting gashed on outside zone runs the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, especially against Cleveland, who's notorious, absolutely notorious against outside zone. How do you stop outside zone? You have 2 edge rushers that can set the edge, and you force everything back inside towards your meat-eating defensive tackles. And, to your point, it's great to have Marcus Williams back. I think that's huge. It allows the defense kind of breathe a little bit. Now you got a safety over top, and you can be tiny bit a little more aggressive in your pressure looks, just because having Marcus Williams back there gives you so much range, so much versatility, and a lot less pressure on the front 7 to go ahead and win with 4. You can start showing a little bit of blitzes, and maybe the only caveat I would have is I don't want Marcus Williams coming up and tackling a lot. I would really like to keep him clean as much as possible. Roquan and Queen and Travis Jones and Michael Pierce and Justin Madubuike all need to do their job so that no one gets to the second level. That would be my biggest caveat to Marcus Williams coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. It's going to be tough to tackle with a harness on or whatever kind of apparatus he's going to be wearing to protect that pec muscle. He's just their only real takeaway artist on the defense. You don't have a guy that gets 5 forced fumbles up front necessarily. I mean, maybe Clowney can do that or Owe can do that one year, but that's not their forte. And nobody in the secondary has, really good ball skills. besides Marcus Williams and maybe Geno Stone. But Hamilton doesn't have an interception in his career. Marlon only has a few. Stevens, I don't think has any. So yeah, you need him, and that's hopefully he can get on the field this week because it's going to be a tough task. But before we get into the Browns game, if you're ready, let's go right to our Yuri's all 22 film review.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we'll go to slideshow mode. The cover page. Fourth quarter sack is your first note here. Walk us through this one.
Yeah, go ahead and there you go. So there's a lot of discourse this week about the sack. A lot of talk. Initially, a lot of people were, should he have gotten the ball way quicker? We can't take that sack at this point in the game. I just want you to look at this protection here. I'm so disappointed in Kevin Zeitler's play so far. If you look there, he lets the rusher just kind of slide right on by him, and it's frustrating. Especially, I know he's frustrated because he's looking for a new contract, and I know a lot of fans, or at least me, I am. I haven't seen a lot of discourse about it, but I'm pretty frustrated in the play that he's put up so far. Just go ahead and pause here. So you have a 3-3-5 look. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. So the Colts send a pretty exotic blitz. They send basically all 6 here, all 6 to the front. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 on 6. You're the late delayed blitzer on the right. Mark Andrews kind of gets in the way just a tiny bit on him. So here's Kevin Zeitler, right? He's looking over at that right blitzer on the far right that Mark Andrews is next to. And he's kind of deciding, do I want to go and stay home for him? And it's tough. It is a tough assignment because you have to decide, okay, am I going to stay inside and help, or am I going to stay out there for the delayed blitzer? So I'll give him a little bit of leeway on that. But overall, I just think, and go ahead and let it play it through, I just think you gotta make a pickup right there. And his head turned just a half a second too late, and then Melvin Gordon just kind of gets ran through a little bit. So it's a rough play, and then we'll go give your thoughts, and we'll circle back to the beginning because there's the part in the beginning that's like, what are we doing?
I mean, traditional blocking rules, and I'm not going to say I know exactly what Joe D is teaching these guys, but you're supposed to block inside out. So if there's 2 blitzers, you pick up the inside guy and let the quarterback try to evade the outside man. Yeah, it's just tough to have Zeitler playing at this level. He was supposed to be the main steady, stalwart veteran on this line, and he's not getting it done for the first 3 weeks. And, if he's continue to struggle over these next 2, really 3 games against 3 really hard-nosed teams in a row here coming up, maybe it's time to give Ben Cleveland a little bit of run. I'm not sure about that, but it does seem that the right guard is better for Cleveland than left guard. So, yeah, it happens, unfortunately, to some players as they age.
Go ahead and pause here once it's right there. So, we'll get to your question in 1 second, Mark. So, down in 6 here. We are at 1st and 10. I think there's about 60 seconds, 45 seconds left in the game. This obviously is the fourth quarter sack. This isn't in overtime. And all 3 of those routes on the far right side of the field are all going to bunch up next to each other. Play it like 2 more seconds. There you go. So now we're all why on 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line are we running 4 stick routes basically? You have a Bateman on the comeback on the outside, and then you have 3 curls. And I guess the option is going to probably be Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is probably your option guy there. I think there's a couple things here that kind of play in hand. One, Mark Andrews is a veteran tight end. He's being paid $15 million a year. Once he sees those linebackers creeping up, maybe he has to have the wherewithal to turn back to the quarterback earlier, and that's a fair point. But just overall, I mean, this is like this is just such a weird play call for 1st and 10, and I think you still had a timeout, so it's not like you needed to get a first down and get all the way up the field. It's just this play call is really confusing to me, especially this late in the game. I just really, it's not for me. It really isn't.
And he has Aguilar here, and Lamar's trying to get there, but he can't get his body around to, because he's without throwing across his body before was that Pay, I think, that got to him. So yeah, it's that was a tough play. As you see, he's trying to get to him, but he's right-handed. He can't throw the ball left-handed there. Just a bad angle, just an unfortunate play. So let's see if we can go on to the next play.
Yeah.
Why is this? There we go.
The only funny thing I had for that last second that play was I always laugh at Lamar like hucking out of bounds like that. Like that's funny to me.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Sorry, I went too far trying to expand the screen.
You're good.
Go ahead.
So real quick to touch on Mark's question about the Browns. So we are going to at the end of these Ravens plays, we do a preview of the Browns offense and defense, and we can definitely touch on circle back to your question there. So if you don't mind staying around, probably an extra 10, 15 minutes, and we'll go ahead and touch on them. I watched about an hour and a half of the Browns, an hour and a half of the Ravens. So go ahead and we'll go ahead and touch on that. But here again, so this is the second drive. Just let it go ahead and play through. This is the second drive of the Ravens game, and this is what happens when you push the ball downfield. You're going to start getting a lighter boxes. So this is the play to Mark Andrews, gain of 15. Previous play to this was a Gus Edwards run of 10 yards. I think it was a wham concept. But now you're going to see here that this was a really nice play call. They had Kevin Zeitler kind of leak out in this weird little screen looking play, and then obviously Drake fumbles there at the end. But you have back-to-back explosive plays of you could say 10 yards plus are considered explosive plays, and the defense kind of like opens up, like the Red Sea just opens up in the middle of the defense for Drake there. So I thought that they kind of went away from this as the game went on, and at least in the second quarter, the Ravens threw the ball 0 times, and they ran 2 scripts of run pass. That's pretty predictable to me. I feel like you're kind of asking yourself to get put on third and 5, 3rd and 6, and they're not the most favorable positions to be in. So not something I was a fan of here in the second quarter, but I did want to highlight that when they did push the ball down the field, good things happen. Lamar, according to PFF, Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback on plays of 15 plus yards downfield. I think it was 10.
Yeah. So I thought these two plays did a nice job of building on top of each other. You kind of have a little high-low action on the first one, and then almost mimicking that, and then Zeitler getting out to the second level, almost like a quasi-tunnel screen almost. It was good to see. The thing is, to your point about run pass, there are some teams that have really good run defenses, and that was always the problem with Greg Roman teams' offenses. Is it was great if they could establish a run. If they couldn't, they were kind of screwed. We hoped that Todd Monken would have the remedy for that, but you get some receivers banged up, and Lamar's still not in sync. And I think at this point it's pretty fair to question resting all the offensive starters in the preseason. But yeah, they did some good things. The first 2 drives were definitely, and then they had 1 drive, I think, in the third quarter. That was pretty much the extent of their offensive, their 3 best drives.
Definitely. So following up here, this was the first drive, and this is the Lamar touchdown run. I want to highlight a couple of blocks here. So you're going to get a steal from Mark Andrews on the end. Then we're going to go ahead and move along, and Morgan Moses out in space. Just gets a nice little pancake. Just a nice little pancake on the defensive back there. Now you see Sam Mustipher block his guy off the screen. And then to top it all off, Lamar was very patient. Lamar usually, if he doesn't see a hole, he'll just take whatever's easiest and he'll go get like 2 or 3 yards. But in this play, I thought he was really patient. It was really nice of him, and go ahead and follow his blocking, which was pretty superb on this play. So.
Yeah, he really set Mustafa up here. He was patient and let Mustafa reach that block at the second level. So that was really the key. So Lamar with the ball in his hands, we know that's always going to be a plus. If I can get this to go to the next one. Why is it not working for me here? Having a little technical difficulties here, brother. Bear with me for
All
a minute.
good. All good. So overall, the only problem I would have with just Lamar running in general is I think they did it one too many times for me. I think they did it 14 or 15 times in a game, and the main focus from now on out really should be throwing the football. That's my from quarters 1 through 3. That's my plan. I plant my flag. Throw the football and build a lead. Quarters 1 through 3. Run the football in the fourth quarter.
Been
Anyway,
saying that all
moving over to the
season.
defense.
Establish the pass. Establish the pass.
Exactly, and that'll lighten up the box for these running backs who may not be as capable as J.K. Dobbins was. Anyway, moving on here. So Jadeveon Clowney, another good game, and I almost it's kind of hard with how good he's been playing. I almost want to put him like in every clip. I'm like, wow, he just keeps like destroying things. And then obviously here flushes out Gardner Minshew. Travis Jones slips, and I have to say I've never seen a defensive tackle slip around. So like I think he did great this game. We're gonna highlight him too. I've
Yeah.
never seen a defensive tackle slip around as much as he does. Like he slips often. He slips very often. It's funny. He's wearing like.
He's got to get some better cleats.
Yeah, I know. That's the first thought I had. I was like, he's got to get some better cleats. But anyway, Clowney left side, and he blows through the tight end and then blows through the running back. What you're supposed to do as an edge rusher. You're not supposed to blow through offensive tackle all the time, but if you get a mismatch like that, he does it and then flushes him out of the pocket.
That's a book on Clowney. Can't block him with a tight end. Nice little inside sort of a Euro step move there. And unfortunately, Matabike wasn't a little bit further upfield to kind of collect Minshew as he flushed and then he got out of the pocket. But I don't think you could ask for much more than you've gotten from Clowney to this point.
Yeah, I would agree. 1,000%.
And then this is Travis Jones, number 1.
Yeah.
This is back-to-back T. Jones.
Yeah, so this to me is something I haven't seen from him so far as a Raven, but this right here was like eye-popping to me. Like I was in my car watching this, and I literally yelled like, "Wow!" I really was shocked because like he basically leverages Quentin Nelson under his pads and raises him up, and he has him. Like you, at that point, as a defensive lineman, you can do whatever you want, and then that's what he does. He leverages him, peaks, and at the end sheds and makes a tackle. So I thought this was a super impressive rep again, especially against someone who's 5 All Pros and 5 Pro Bowls, 3-time First All Pro, 1-time Second Team All Pro. You can't ask for any better than this. And he does it again in the other clip, but I just thought that was super impressive.
Just forks lift him. Just really beautiful stack and shed from a one tech there, and against one of the best in the business. So let's see him stack up Nelson again. So we pegged him as a breakout, at least I did, as my breakout player of the year. The stats might not be there, but I think the play on the field has been.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe the sacks aren't going to come, but the pressure and the ability to just push people out of the way. He's a very, very strong dude. So you're going to see here again using one arm here on the release and just gets leverage. And that's what you want right there. He's watching that hole right coming over that between 79 and Nelson. he has leverage there. So if the running back comes through, he can get an arm out, slow him down a little bit, get out there, make a tackle, and this is what you want. And the other hole is clogged up because he pushed them back so far. So these are two high, like not like, oh, these are good reps. These are high level defensive tackle reps. This is like Dexter Lawrence type of reps where you're just manhandling people to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's going to be a building block for the next few years. That anchor of the defensive line seems like.
I would agree. So no throw of the week this week. I wanted to show a shot play attempt. So the Ravens, obviously last week with Zay Flowers had that big play downfield, shot play action. So they tried again here. They try another shot play, and this is where we're starting to figure out a little bit of Monken's scheme, and with this offensive line being a little makeshift, this obviously the Colts blitz here, that guy's not supposed to be there. That
Right.
guy is not supposed to be there. The shot play is obviously intended for Nelson Aguilar down the left side. He was kind of open, probably would have, seen what would happen. But just an overall scheme thought on setting up shot plays, especially out of under center play action. I would really like for the Ravens to keep a tight end on the strong side of the shot play and kind of be out there as a blocker and just kind of hold the protection line, hold, make sure no one comes through and blows up the play, because we've had a lot of plays. And week 1 we highlighted one. I think week 2 we also highlighted one where it kind of got busted up because a little bit of pressure came through and it prevented a downfield play. So I'd like to keep Ricard, Kolar, whoever you want to put out there, and just kind of pause right here. Just kind of have them right there in the middle of the line of scrimmage, just kind of holding their spot, maybe blocking someone, maybe just waiting there. Go 2-3 seconds, no pressure's coming, check out and release, just for a little flat play in case Nelson's there. And guess what? There's going to be all types of space because all the other defenders are backing down. So,
yeah, I don't know if that's on Mustafa that should have slid production to the right. The play's designed to go to the left. So I think there is maybe a little bit something that could be gained there with Linderbaum, although he may not be able to anchor as well as pass pro. But likely seems like he should pick this one up. And he's going. And then you have McCary here with nobody to block. You got 3 guys standing around, and then you have a free blitzer. But I did think Lamar had a window with when Aguilar's streaking right there. Well, but he's in the grasp, so of course you can't make that throw.
Yeah, it's just it's hard. It's hard to get the ball out when you don't have time to throw it. So that my solution to the Ravens offense being fixed is go trip every play.
Yeah, makes sense to me. All right. Browns offense.
Mark. So Mark's question was about the Browns defense. We'll get that in a second. So here, Browns offense. So I watched, obviously, like I said, full game, and the Browns offense really wasn't impressive to me. This play right here is a miscommunication. You're going to see the defensive back. This is cover 4 quarters, which turns into man once you get that far down the field. And one of those two got to take it. One of the corner or the safety has to take it. They didn't take it, and they kind of just let him run by. And there was another play earlier in the game, similar concept. Jerome Ford was the running back coming on a wheel route out of the backfield. Another touchdown. There's 14 out of the 27 points that the Browns scored against this game. So you think, 27-3, they dominated them. The Titans just don't look good. My biggest takeaway from this game is the Titans suck. They suck. Derrick Henry looks bad. Derrick Henry looks very bad. He does not look like the Derrick Henry of old. They have 2 very, very slow, lethargic receivers. And I like Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks probably a little more juice than DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you we did not sign DeAndre Hopkins. We'd be in the same spot we're in now. Just would like to say that. But the Browns offense isn't impressive to me outside of what they do in the run game. But the Ravens are built to stop the run. So
yeah, they certainly are. Still one of the, I believe the Browns are number 1. The Ravens are number 2 in run defense going so far. Cooper just splits the defensive backs. I don't anticipate a busted coverage like that happening against the Ravens very often.
Exactly. So, Mark,
Excuse
here
me.
to answer your question, how sold are you guys on the Browns defense at this point, and what do you think our offense can do to attack them efficiently? So, am I sold on the Browns defense? I think the Browns defense is very good. I also think that the Browns defense played the struggling Bengals, the disgusting Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and the Titans offense, which also looks horrid. I I think this is like the game. This is like the litmus test for their defense, in my opinion. Like, are they good or are they not? Uh, are the Ravens going to be able to push the ball vertically? Or are they going to limit it and pin their ears back and rush the passer? It's a tough question. I would say that what we can do to attack them efficiently is 12 personnel, in my opinion. How do we stop this rush right here? How do we stop Myles Garrett, Dalvin Tomlinson, Zadarius Smith? How do we stop linebackers from blitzing? And in my opinion, it's going to be getting an extra tight end on the field, maybe even 32 personnel as well. If you want to go empty, fine. Have 32 personnel, line up both tight ends in line, maybe Ricard instead of a tight end, a traditional tight end. Have him chip, have him stay in, and then you have four. You still have 4 into 7 with 32 personnel and keeping one in. So
Yeah. Well, just to break down this play, you get an A gap blitz from the line, from the inside backer, and then you have Okawankwo twists around two gaps, and then you have Garrett for the cleanup sack. So as you see, or I'm sorry, that was a one gap stunt, but I am pretty bullish on the Browns defense. They just have a ferocious front, and their entire secondary is former like top 50, 60, 70 picks. So they got a lot of talent. They really do have a lot of talent. And I think the new coordinator, Schwartz, has unlocked them to some extent. I actually think that putting more big bodies on the field, I'm actually somewhat against that. I think a lot of it just comes down to Lamar needs to diagnose better and make better decisions, quicker decisions, and Monkey needs to give him better blitz beaters. So, you want to break this down one more time, or should we move on to the keys to the game?
no, I think we're on the breakdown. The only thing I would say to it is that if the Ravens have to prove to me they can pass protect with 5 offensive linemen, and so far they haven't. So until they can, I really think the solution is going to have to be bringing out a tight end to chip. I just think
I
that
mean,
that's
it's a two-pronged solution, right? Because it's not only can they protect with 5, it's can the receivers get open before the front gets home, and can Lamar find them? We've seen games with the Ravens where they're putting all kind of pressure on the opposing quarterback, but it doesn't make a difference because he has a quick release. I always go back to this Dallas Cowboys game. I think it was 2020. They had Andy Dalton as their backup quarterback. They were down 3 or 4 offensive linemen, but they had Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup all playing at a high level. And Dalton really carved them up because the receivers and the quarterback, it's that symbiotic relationship between coverage and pass rush, as well as receivers and blocking. So that's kind of where my head's at. But let's get into this game. I personally, let's just go to the defensive side. I'm sorry, let's go to the offensive side of the ball since that's what we're on. I think they need to put up points through scheme. I don't think they have the talent advantage to just do whatever they want here. And I really think Yak, yards after the catch, is going to needs to be a main component of this game if the Ravens are going to pull this out on the road under shorthanded. They are getting a couple players back, but they're not at full strength. And I think you and I would both objectively say Cleveland has a more talented roster. They might have even had it when everybody's at full strength, but now with the Ravens banged up, I think they do for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The key to the game for me is going to be the key to probably every game from here on out is to push the ball vertically, push it downfield. Let's set up some shots. Let's set up some seams. Let's set up some comebacks, outs, slants, sluggos, post routes, anything you can think of that gets the ball downfield. I think that's very important to winning this football game and stopping. stopping the Browns' rush, stopping the Browns' pressure. They're going to send pressure looks. They already have a disgusting front seven, and they're going to send looks at you that are going to confuse you. And Monken has to do a very good job at counter striking some of them.
Yeah, Cleveland is 10th, 9th or 10th in blitz rate. And they have the number one in the league in run stops as far as tackling the ball carrier or running plays at or near the line of scrimmage. And they're NFL's number one defense. Now, we know that isn't something that necessarily continues throughout the year. We've seen teams, New England, a couple years back, they have a great defense first half of the year that wears down as they get figured out. But they are very, very talented. So I think it's really up to Lamar, Mark Andrews, and Zay Flowers to make big plays. I mean, you need your big-time players to make big plays. Andrews is now presumably more healthy than he was, when he missed week 1. And that's the guys you have to lean on in these tough divisional matchups when you're going on the road as an underdog.
I would agree. Big-time players make big-time plays. Let's make it happen.
Turning it over to the other side of the ball, I think Van Noy to set the edge, as mentioned in the opening segment, is crucial. I think you're going to need, stout performance from the D-line. Fortunately, Pierce and Jones have been very solid in that regard so far. I want to see Kyle Hamilton as a nickel defender again, and I want to see that slot blitz. That slot blitz won the game for my Florida State Seminoles against Clemson on Saturday, and allowed Kyle Hamilton to get a trio. And you got to heat Watson up with Hamilton. They have Elijah Moore, they have Cooper, they have DPJ, but you got to find a way. And I don't think this defensive line and outside backers, without their young Nigerian descent guys, can necessarily do it without Hamilton. And I think they Worley, or if Williams is back, or if they want to bring up Harmon, that's good enough on the back end. You got to. It's a trench game. You got to have Hamilton down the box, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I would also say that the front seven, along with getting pressure, they're probably going to run. And this is the key to the game. The Ravens get a turnover in this game, I think they win. I think if they get a defensive turnover, it's been 3 straight weeks of the opponents winning in the turnover side. The opponents being in the plus on turnovers. If the Ravens defense can force a turnover or two, go out there, strip a ball out and pass pass defense, go out there, make an interception, do something to get the ball loose. I really like our chances. But obviously you have to get to the quarterback first, and once again, it seems like corners aren't going to be a problem as long as Mike McDonald's here. He's just going to scheme it up, have it be fine. It'd be nice to have Marlon Humphrey back, but as for now, it seems like it's going to be fine. So my little message to Mike McDonald will be is be as confusing as possible to Deshaun Watson, because that will allow your defense to go out there and make a play.
Yeah, so you got to start fast. Obviously, the Ravens have started fast the last couple of games. Special teams, you got to clean that up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens make a big play in their favor in special teams in this week. Couple down. They're 16th in DVOA special teams, which is like crazy. They're usually top 5 every single year. You can set your calendar to it. So
they were 32nd the last week too. So it's improvement. It's an improvement.
They're working their way. They're working their way up. But yeah, you need to win the turnover battle. It's going to be very difficult to win on the road against a more talented team and a healthier team without winning the turnover battle. I don't think there's any two ways about it. So, score prediction.
I'm going to go with. Man, this is tough. Because the Bengals game the last week, I'm like, yeah, Ravens 31, Colts 10, and then the game turns into be a slot fest. So I'm going to go with 24-21 Ravens.
Okay, I like that. I'm pretty close. I just think the Ravens are too banged up right now, so I'm going to pick against them. And so far, I'm 1-2 in Ravens games, so maybe that's the reverse jinx will help them out. But I'm going to say 23-17 Browns is going to be my prediction.
Ravens score 17 points. I'm going to be up in arms. I'm going to be completely honest. I'll be
I mean,
very
it's
up
the
and
number
honest.
one. It's the number one defense in the league. It's not like you're playing, you know, a poor defense. So they're just, I don't know. They just don't quite have that cutting edge that they need. I don't know if you watch soccer at all, but sometimes you see a team that's taking all these, getting the ball, they're dominating possession, they have the ball inside the box, and they just can't quite find the goal. It kind of seems like that's what the Ravens' offense is kind of, as Tom Monken said, they're what is it? Too much draft, not draft. What do you call it when
Drag.
you drag? Yeah, too much drag. So anyway, I hope I'm
If
wrong.
you're watching this back live or you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you put Boo Voss in the comment. Just put in the
Yeah.
comment.
Baby, you don't know about the reverse jinx. Both times they won the Super Bowl, I picked against them all 4 games in the playoffs intentionally because after the first one, I was like, I have to pick against them. I even bet against them, even though I thought they were going to win, to keep the reverse jinx alive. Sometimes you got to do the reverse jinx. Take them over the team over here.
Yeah. Well, we good to move on to our betting. Any props like?
Yeah, there's a couple. Nothing really jumping out at me. I got Cleveland with the first sack minus 125. That's really a play on, first of all, their pass rush is better. Second of all, probably pretty good chance the Ravens are going to have the ball first. Probably 60, 70% chance. The other one I have, and this is if you really want to get crazy, but I do think this is going to be a Mark Andrews game. So they have a prop where you can predict the first 2 touchdowns in a row. And if you predict Mark Andrews with the first and Amari Cooper with the second, that's plus 5,500, 5,500. So you can put $1 on that one and win $500. Why not?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go with. I feel like Gus Edwards always runs a touchdown against the Browns. So anytime touchdown for him, I think it's like plus 140, 145, somewhere around there. And then Deshaun Watson interception, yes. Did not look at the odds of that one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go with I think the Ravens are the Ravens are plus money, right?
Yeah. They're plus.
Yeah, but go ahead and go with the Ravens. They're 130
about
something.
160, yeah. 140.
Yeah. I'll go with the Ravens money line, and then I'm gonna go piggyback on what you said about Mark Andrews. I'm gonna go with Mark Andrews 2 touchdowns. Dose.
So they're only plus 124. They're juicing the hell out of it. They're juicing the hell out of you there. There's a couple games this week that are negative both ways, which Rams, Colts. Rams are minus 118, Colts are minus 102. So anyway, bookies got to make their money too somehow, I guess. Thursday night, getting ready to kick off here in about 5 minutes. We got the Packers against the Lions. Should be a pretty good game. Both these teams are, divisional rivals, both off to pretty decent starts. What are you looking for? What are your predictions?
I think the Packers win 31-27. I think it's going to be a nice game. Thursday night usually is a snooze fest. I don't think it's going to be this one. I like both teams in their each regard. If the Lions figure out how to use Jahmyr Gibbs and stop playing around, maybe they pull this one out. But as so far I can tell, not really. They really don't know what they're doing with them. Why do you draft a running back 12th overall? Don't know. Pass up on Christian Gonzalez, who's a good corner. Don't know. End the season at 10-7 and 9-8. Maybe miss the playoffs. Maybe make the wild card, losing the wild card round. Could have made it farther if you drafted a corner. Don't know. Anyway.
Side note, you and I were both. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we both had Gonzalez as our number 1 corner, and so far he's outplaying Forbes and who's the guy in Seattle? The little guy, Witherspoon. Yeah. So far, he's really shining.
I can't remember. Once we get 6 months out from draft, I'm like, all right, I'm on the next one.
I'm about to check my notes. I'm pretty sure.
Jordan Love is plus money over 1.5 touchdowns. I like that play. I also like Jaden Reed is 2.5 receptions. Christian Watson's 3.5. Oh man, I'm trying to think of the parlays I put in. Sam Laporta over 50 yards is plus money, so 50 plus. I like that. I don't like the Packers linebackers in coverage. I don't think they're great. I think they're good both run defenders, but in coverage, maybe not so much.
Well, Campbell's out, I think, again. Campbell's out again. The Packers injury report kind of mirrors the Ravens, where they're down Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins, their two best linemen, and Jair Alexander is also out this game, their best corner, and their best receiver. Watson has been out. He's going to make his debut tonight. I think the Packers still have a top 10 defense, and even though they are banged up, I do think they have more quality, and I think Love's playing well. So I'm not going to get into crazy SGPs, but I do like Packers +2.
Cool. Lock of the week.
Upset lock of the week. Underdog lock of the week.
Exactly. Lock, upset, It's a synonymous term.
There was two I was looking at. Monday night, Seattle +1 at the Giants. I like both of these, to be honest. The other one is Miami +2.5 at Buffalo. I think Miami's offense is just on another level right now that the defense DCs haven't had a chance to counter. McDaniel is just scheming up, out scheming everyone, as they say. And Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle should be back after missing last week. They put up 70 points without Jalen Waddle. That's pretty good. So I'll take Miami +2.5 at Buffalo. I think Vic Fangio can force Josh Allen into a mistake late, and Miami's just a juggernaut at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you on both. I just don't think Buffalo has the horses to run the race with Miami, and Miami probably gets over them. I'm with you on Seattle as well. I don't like the Giants. I really don't. I think they blundered away another offseason, but oh well. I do like Banks. But
home dogs on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was gonna go with my upset of the week is, like you said, the Colts are also plus money. So I guess that's technically an upset, right?
Yeah.
So Colts over the Rams.
Home dogs on Monday night are like one of the safest bets you can make. So the Giants being a dog. Two more. Before we wrap it up, two more interesting gambling trends that apply to the Ravens games. Lamar Jackson is 12-2 against the spread as an underdog. And Kevin Stefanski, Browns head coach, is 10-19 against the spread as a favorite. So both those trends definitely favor the Ravens, but I still think they're a little bit too banged up, unfortunately. Hope I'm wrong.
Well, you're gonna be wrong. I'm gonna go out there. we're gonna play some disgusting John Harbaugh football power play action.
The best play ever designed ever is power, according to John Harbaugh.
Yep. Until you can't run it because you got a backup center and tackle. Anyway, appreciate everybody for joining. Aria, Mark, Jason there at the beginning. Love seeing you guys in the comments. Please, if you can, join back in the comments. And it livens up the show a little bit just to give us something else to think about besides talking to each other. And go ahead and subscribe, like, share, retweet, post, do whatever you got to do. Get the word out there. Ravens Way Podcast is up, and we are going strong throughout the season. Appreciate everybody for joining, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.